by the end of the day,
Mhm.
I'm not sure that the end of the day is the best time, because, I mean, it is, but it isn't, because you can get drinks. But it's you're whooped. At
Yeah,
least start by then.
that is correct. That is correct.
And
So
it's time.
good.
It might be time for that, but it's also time to just chill and go over it and do something.
I would recommend it though. I have a couple things, a couple other people recommended that's on the list to do. And
Yeah.
well, welcome, Eliana. Good to see you here. Welcome, Michelle. Tonight I have a very, very, very special class. We're gonna talk briefly, 1 minute each on wins, and then we're gonna get into this amazing session that is really meant for us, the coaches, and it's from Bob and from Sandy. But I want to share with you, right? I want you to have everything that I got. So
Exciting.
it's a special class. You've seen some of it before, but not like this. You've seen some of it from Sandy, but not like this. You've seen some of it from Bob. So I decided to share with you. So let's take quick 1 minute each. Let's see where we are. 5:04. So by 5:10, I want to get going on the video. We'll see if Richie is going to join and Lori, but we're going to get going. So 1 minute, quick. Please, we have Michelle. Michelle is one of my clients from not Big Table. I think it's the $100,000 program, I think. And I coach her as well. So she wants to see the class today, which is amazing. Thank you for coming. So tell me a win. Let's start with Claudia. What's one win?
I just received a promissory note for another note. So more money in my pocket.
Love it. Love it. That's so good.
Congratulations.
Well,
What
yeah.
happened? I'm sorry, I missed in the beginning. What happened to, looks like it's time for something else? What are you doing?
No, we just started. No, we
Oh.
just started. All I
This is
said is tonight's going to be a very special class, and I'm going to share with you some material that you've never seen before. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Done.
So,
So
yeah, share with us a win.
I was sick and I got well, so that's my win. And I also, and I almost done with taxes, so that's my win for week.
That is awesome. That's
That's
good.
a win for everybody.
That's a win for everybody. That's good. And you're feeling better. You look better. That's awesome. It's good. The energy is going to come back. That is cool. That's cool.
Thank you.
And Michelle, welcome. Good to see you here. Are you able to speak? Can you share with us a win from before, from a week ago, or the recent win?
Yeah, for sure. I'm driving, sorry, but I can share. You know what I think is a real win is I've been doing my affirmation stuff, and now when I get an idea in my head, one of them pops into my head, and I just say it really quickly.
That's okay. That's cool. That's good. You know what? If the whisper comes, you go for it. I love it. For me, the best one, there's a couple of them, but I'm going to mention one for the sake of time. I just got the okay to be on a very large podcast with thousands and thousands of followers, and now we're just setting up the time. It's with Raymond Aaron. Raymond Aaron is one of the publishers. So I won that thing, and it's pretty cool. We had to audition for it and all that, and I won it. So it's pretty cool. And I'm also going to Toronto. So there we go. 2 wins. I'm going to Toronto later on this week. I want to go see my mom. I haven't seen her for a few months. So we decided, and I'm going to go. So
That's great. Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm going to write that down.
Toulouse. Where is Toulouse?
Sorry?
Where is Toulouse? Where is it?
Toronto, Canada.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, my mom's in Toronto, just east of Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's more stuff, but this lesson today is really going to get you to review what we've done before on visualization. You might have a practice of gratitude or not. I hope you do by now. But you know, when you wake up in the morning and you do your prayers, you do your thankfulness, how grateful you are, is going to teach you the power of mixing gratitude and visualization together. And it is a very important element in the whole process of allowing the spiritual side to come and help you. So it's a really cool lesson. They shared it with us not long ago. Of course, I've seen it with Bob by himself. I've seen it with Sandy, but they mixed this 1 hour of gratitude together. So we'll get to watch it. It's 56 minutes or so, and we'll do it. And here we got Richie. Welcome, Richie. Good to see you, man.
Hey,
Cool, cool. We just shared. Everybody's got a beautiful wins, and one of them is about taxes. So you missed on that win.
oh,
One was
man.
on notes, and one. Before we do the gratitude lesson, I want to welcome you, Richie. You want to share with us a win since last week?
A win since last week. Man, I should have been ready. Taxi, well, my win will be tomorrow.
Okay, you see it happen already.
This rush is over.
Oh, I see. The end
Yeah.
of tax season. Yes, that'd be a big
In
one.
the tax season, that will be my big win. But that's all right. In the tax season doesn't mean my income will stop. It's all right. So I'm good.
You know,
Awesome.
I remember meeting you a little bit more than a year ago, but the smile on your face now is much bigger than a year ago. And
Oh yeah.
at the end of the tax season,
Yeah.
man, game is on. I love it. So that's pretty cool. So I want you to, on a piece of paper, just quickly, let's take 30 seconds and write your goal. Okay. I know, Michelle, you're driving, so please just think about it in your head. Don't close your eyes, but just write your goal and the normal goal that you're always writing. And as we're going through the gratitude lesson and visualization, I want you to keep seeing that goal achieved. I want you to keep seeing that goal that you write. I hope it's the one that you want. See it happening and feel it as Sandy's talking about it and as Bob and I talk about it. Really see it forming, coming into real life. All right. And as we go along, if you want to jot some notes down, you can. If you want to jot your feelings about it, you can. It's a little bit long. And so halfway through, if you need a break, just let me know in the chat. If you need a coffee or need a tea, just get a coffee or a tea, whatever it is you need, or water. But you're going to love this class. And if there's somebody around you in the house that you think will benefit, just call them. Just, say, right now, we're about to watch this thing. It won't be me talking, but it's a beautiful lesson. Honestly, I don't know what to say. It's just so good. All right, so I'm gonna minimize as many black windows on my screen as possible so you can see most of it. But here it is. This is just for the coaches, and you're all leaders. So can I get that you
incredible lesson coming your way. And as you have likely seen in your email and in the link, we are going to be studying and learning today about gratitude and visioneering from our founder's favorite. So those are two such important topics, such important practices. And today we're going to learn how important those are, how we can practice to get the goals that we want, to bring the business to the next level, and just get anything that we want in life. How can we implement gratitude and visioneering in order to accomplish our goals? So it's a very powerful lesson. I want to make sure everyone has pen and paper because you should be taking notes. This is such an important one. Love it. I see Sabine. Very good. Very good. Awesome. I love to see those papers and pens ready to go. So without further ado, I'm going to play the lesson for you. And here we go. Oh, and by the way, this is being recorded and it will be posted inside your call registration and recording session.
This is where you totally begin.
So I want to take a 5-minute intermission here to talk a little bit, and then we'll continue with the video. And welcome everybody that joined. Welcome Harrison and everybody that's new as well, because it's important to reflect on what we just heard. So good to see my good friend Harrison. You guys got to see him last week as well, but we did not talk as much. So hello, my good friend and Mofo mentor. He's an incredible man, and I'm so grateful that you're here, my friend. So good. So you saw what I just shared, like with the gratitude. You saw the 3 things. You saw how important that is, and I hope you're doing it. And it doesn't matter. Don't feel guilty if you're not. We've been talking about it. You gotta do it. Like I have a special journal just for gratitude, and you gotta take that 4 or 5 minutes a day to do it. Let's just free talk, a few minutes. Who wants to share based on what you heard? Does it make sense? Do you have any questions?
I'm finding this a refreshing rephrasing of the principles that I hear from Abraham, and it's very, of course, related, but it's just to hear it in a different way. Actually, although that is, Abraham Hicks is one of my mental dailies. To hear it in a different way like this is refreshing, and it just almost consolidates it for me. Very, very good stuff.
Very good. I love it. I love it. Anybody else? Harrison, you're trying to say? Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, so during my journey in the dark night of my soul, basically, which I spent 23 years in, the darkest, the whole kind of cliche. It's not even a cliche; it's a maxim. The darkest comes right before the dawn. The darkest night comes right before the dawn. And so, in the process that I went through, and there was not a conscious process because I was just programmed into all these things, and all I was doing was fighting the tides, trying to be something different than I was, trying to experience things differently than I was experiencing them, and having a gigantic reaction of no to just about everything, no and oh. So at the moment that I reached my threshold where I could take no more, and I was nearly at a suicide level, I said to myself at one moment there, I said, well, what if all this is some form of love? What if all this has in some way been orchestrated so I could experience love? So that I know the deep wounds and compassion and darkness that other people feel, and I certainly know the ones that I feel. And within a moment later, I had a mystical experience. About maybe a half a second later, I surrendered all of my past sins, if you would. Because the very first message I got from the mysticism was that you are absolved of all your sins. And then the second thing it said was, tell no one of this experience. And what happened was that I moved into the place of, wow, I really love these other people. I love this other thing. All the things that I had been seeing and experiencing up until that point were all wrong. These people are really good. The situation is really good. I had been misinterpreting it. And what I want all you guys to know regarding appreciation and all that, at least from my story and my perspective, is that the moment you switch over to appreciation and love and gratitude, basically you experience something totally different. And that rocked me into another world. It absolutely opened up probably a download of about 100 times more energy than I had prior to that moment. I also had incredibly new perceptions that I didn't have before. And it was the gratitude that allowed me to stay within the new energy. It was absolutely the feeling of gratitude that allowed me to stay. Because if not, the energy would have been too much for me, and I would have dove back into my familiar suffering. And what I want you guys to know is that suffering is all of suffering without exclusion, basically, is misperception. And when you change any perception from something dark to something grateful, it changes the energy of it, and the energy of it becomes you. And if you allow the energy to be grateful, it expands you into a very, very incredibly enhanced place. My IQ must have jumped between 20 and 50 points after that mystical experience. Because prior to that, I couldn't communicate with anybody. I couldn't talk to anybody. I couldn't perceive anything. And then all of a sudden, I was articulate. I was perceptive. I had a world and a lifetime of experience to not only navigate issues, but also to express them in ways that made a difference to other people. So, there's no limitations to where you can go with any of this. And, the deeper the darkness, the greater the light when you come through it. Anyway, I'll quit talking. Go ahead. Come on.
How old were you, Harrison, when this happened?
28.
And what did you do to yourself that it happened?
Nothing. I simply gave up on fighting the universe, fighting life. You know, it wasn't anything specific that I did. I didn't even know, I didn't believe in God. I didn't know what was going on. I heard about every third word everybody said, so I didn't get the full thing. I wasn't in the moment. I wasn't present. I wasn't able to uh, see very well. I had a film, what you might consider a film override. Everything was sort of blurry, and you don't know blurriness until you've seen clarity. So, and that's kind of what happened. So, my whole life switched in a matter of a moment. I mean, I have no idea how long I was in the mystical experience, but the moment that I came out of it and was deposited back into my body, everything was different. So I wasn't the same human being, and I haven't been the same human being since. Somebody said once the mind is stretched to a new dimension, you can never go back. So, and that's what happened to me. So
I love it. Love it. Who else wants to share? Alina, welcome as well. Good to see you here.
Alina, baby. Hi, Alina. Put your video on, sweetie.
Hi guys, I'm sort of walking in transit, so I can't really. But thank you, Kamal, and
Yes,
good to see you,
absolutely.
Harrison.
Absolutely.
Hi.
Hi. Be safe driving. Richie, my accounting partner here.
Hey, I'm definitely grateful for the reminder to be grateful. I had been in the habit for a while, and now I'm going to restart it again, and write down my 10 gratitudes. Usually, I had been at a point where I think I did it consistently for about 60 days. Where I would write down, I don't think I did 10, but I would write down at least five things that I was grateful for every day. And I think what's really important about what she said is I don't think it's necessarily the quantity, and it's not necessarily that you try to do something different every day. It's that whatever you write down that you truly are grateful for. And almost to the point of tears grateful for. Really get into that emotional state of being grateful. And I like I never heard this before. I like what she talked about, what Bob had suggested, or somebody had suggested to her, that if you've got somebody that is hard for you to send love to, well, first you get into that grateful moment, that grateful feeling, and then just try to slide that person over into that feeling, and they sort of get enveloped in it a little bit, and it just changes how you perceive them. If you're already in the attitude of gratefulness and love and appreciation, you can eventually get that to spread to that person, even if you've had some tiffs with them or some conflict with them in the past. So I appreciate that example.
Good job.
So what I wanted to also interject there is that, we're all really we're one being, and because we're one being, telepathically other people get what we feel about them. And when you understand that, basically, and you switch the way you feel about somebody, they behave better toward you because you're behaving better toward them. So it's all just a reflection back of who you are.
Beautiful. And remember like the one-liner, and I'll send you this PDF if you want it. The whole process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word: gratitude. And you can be grateful for things you don't even have yet. You can appreciate it. It's coming. And it's just an energy transfer that's going to happen. And I think Harrison put something in the chat that I wrote down. He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens. I mean, just beautiful.
That's the way of the world.
Yeah. The key is, just start build a practice, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes a day, just to have it part of the habitual behavior, and you're going to build it. All right. And like I said, you're welcome to share in the chat your professions. Some of you are real estate, some of you are accounting, taxes, that kind of stuff. It's fine with me to share your beautiful career so you can connect with each other. So if there's no other comments, I'm going to share what Bob has to say about visioneering and gratitude. So let me get him back on the screen. So here we are.
Begin to create your own world, or you truly begin to create your own world through the effective use of your higher faculties. Now, you see, as we, but you know what it is. And I want you to really speed things up. I don't want you to slow them down. I want you to speed them up. And I want you to put more of you into it, because there's no end to what we can do.
There's no end to what we can do. What a powerful lesson on gratitude from Sandy and visionary for Bob. So good, so powerful, so eye-opening, and I hope you loved it as much as I did. It's such a powerful lesson.
It was a powerful lesson, and a little bit long, but it was amazing. I mean, the passion, the ideas, and I know it's a little bit more, but it builds on TIR. It builds on everything we've studied. And I just want you all to know the class that I was in for 5 days with Bob on this one, people paid anywhere from 60,000 to 140,000, depending how much time you get with him. This is like really cool stuff. But I have all the videos of those with Bob. We call them the master class and the inner circle. So you saw the next level of what Bob studied. You saw how he sees visualization, how he sees attunement, how he sees this, order. But I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm gonna pass the floor to all of you. Michelle, welcome to the camera. Good to see you. Michelle from Alberta, Canada. What's your thoughts? Take a couple minutes each. And Zaira, welcome. Zaira de Maria Campos, welcome. Take a couple minutes each. Share with me what you thought. What are you going to do with this information?
I think two most powerful things that sit right in front of my mind is, one is the graphics were very appropriate, but there was a key word for me, and that was consent.
Yeah.
I can just stop right there.
Yeah. Love it. You gotta consent and you gotta believe, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I
believe has never kicked in for me. I mean, I think I believe, but I really don't sometimes or often. But consent to do or consent to believe is gonna something I'll work on.
Yeah, so something scaring you, and Harrison is gonna help us a few words here. Who else? Liana.
I'm searching what atonement means.
Let's say go like this. Hey Siri, what's atonement? No, she got the wrong word. Siri, what does atonement mean?
It's a the reactiveness we have to another person. Does this
says reparation for a wrong or injury? Wanted to make atonement for her husband's behavior. It's early 16th century, especially between God and man, influenced by medieval Latin. An earlier atonement, an obsolete verb, one to unite.
the ability to emotionally connect on another level.
There you go.
Okay. Gotcha.
There's two parts to that. Can you guys hear me?
You can hear me now.
Yeah, so there is atonement and there's attunement. Atonement is forgiveness, basically. It means I'm sorry and I am toning myself. Atonement means to tone. I am toning myself into a vibration. Attunement is when you match a vibration. So you are turning the dial on your radio to a particular frequency. 97.6 is wealth. 94 is violence. 91 is something else, et cetera, et cetera. So when I visualize, every single day, I visualize tuning my radio dial to the wealth frequency. to the wealth frequency, to the love frequency. I combine them. And so I want to hear the messages of those two things. What's the messages that I need today of wealth? What's the message I need today of love? You know, what additional things can I experience that I want? I wake up every morning and I say, I give thanks to the Most High for today's miracles. Very first thing. So, and then I attune myself to, so what is the frequency? What does it feel like? Vibration and frequency are the same thing. Vibration and feelings are the same word. So what does it feel like to be in heaven? What does it feel like to be super wealthy? What does it feel like to, be able to spend and do anything you want? I look at this, hey, I want that, I can buy it. I look at this, I want that, I can buy it. What does it feel like to be in a love relationship with, the sexiest person that you can think of? What does it feel like to be in a circumstance that has, everybody admiring you, from the stage or the situation? What does it feel like? So you're standing there and you absorbing the energy of the crowd loving you. Okay, so you're in front of a stage and you're feeling the crowd. Last night I was at or was it last night or 2 nights ago? I was at a comedy show where a guy was an impressionist and he could do the impressions of like probably about 60 or 70 different celebrities of different sorts. And they were all great and they were all funny and he had all lines from that. But the way he got that is to understand how those people felt in their situation, So, and when you do that, you become like them, and then you add your personal feelings with that. The attunement is you tune your voice into the same frequency as theirs, and then you become that. It's the becoming that's important. And the becoming is simply the tuning of the dial into that idea, whatever that idea happens to be for you.
I love it.
So atonement is about forgiveness, so that you and that person can be in a mutual okayness, or whatever you want to call it, mutual cooperation. And attunement is tuning into what it is that is important to you, whatever that happens to be.
That was very, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome.
How did you all feel when Bob talked about control the flow of energy? But this energy is coming through and through you, and we have this extension, like we have that power, control the flow. It's up to us what to do with it, what state you be in, like whatever is happening on the outside, it's within us. We have that control, but we don't accept it. We don't believe that we have that control. So we have to control this flow. We have to learn how to do it. And it's not an overnight thing.
I think you must become aware of it first. I mean, how we just blindly go through life, and until we start listening to it, if you will, feeling it, we don't even know it exists. So many people I know like that.
Yep, so true. So true. Oh, well,
Like when you stand in a river, a rushing river, that feels that you want to feel like flow. That's what it feels like when you're standing in a rushing river. So you just overlay that on whatever your desire is.
That's how powerful it is. I like when he was talking about, that heavenly feeling, right? That heavenly state, that extraordinary feeling when you're organizing your mind and you're staying in order. Order is heaven's first law. And he said, you consciously and deliberately use this power. You are an instrument and spirit flows through you. Like some of us would not even accept this conversation. Like, what are you talking about? But everybody thinks life is happening to you. People are pushing you around. You went to this school, you went to that job. Your neighbor got that job, and he said, "This is a good job to do. Come and work with me." And you go and work with them. So life is happening to you instead of, no, we have this power. We have to step back. That's what we're doing, becoming more aware. We started the lesson with awareness from Bob's side. all about awareness, becoming really aware and calm.
So I have a question for Harrison.
Yeah, that's
We're
great.
sitting here like your paradigm, you keep repeating and then it takes you back a little bit. So after you had this experience at 28, did your old paradigm kicked in sometimes?
No, it dropped. I got all the knowledge from it, but I didn't have all the pain or the emotion. All the pain and the emotion was gone. I still had the knowledge of who I was and what I've gone through, but that became wisdom. When you drop the emotion and you understand what has happened, it becomes a reference point for your wisdom. So that's how that works.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and yeah. And wisdom becomes wisdom is born of fear. So it's born of some place where it has been where you've experienced negativity or pain in some way. So you learn you learn to have a dog, and the dog reabsorbs your negativity. And Teddy, that's hi Teddy. Woof, woof.
He sits
So-
beside me every time I'm here looking over the city. He sits right beside me. I love that answer, Harrison. That was beautiful.
Yeah, me too. Very,
Yeah.
very good. Having a long life. That's very good.
Yeah, well, it's been my experience that, character is developed through this process of orderliness, and through this process of understanding, and this process of removing the emotions that are negative so that you can have the wisdom for the emotions that are positive.
Mhm. Awesome. So good. Who else didn't speak yet? Michelle or Zaira De Maria, if you want to ask a question, that would be a chance. Mr. Harrison is gratefully being here with us. And last time we did not give him a chance to tell us about what he's doing and what he does. And I introduced him as much as I could. So this would be your chance to ask. And he's famous for big, big things, instantaneous transformations, like huge. We're just about to meet one of the artists that he helped really grow to that next level. So I'm just so excited for that. But he's here gratefully with us. So thank you. Oh, Zaira, you're here. Hello.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I had my camera off. I'm not really good with big crowds. But yeah, thank you. It was really interesting. I'm so glad I wasn't even thinking about going, and then when I got the message, I'm gonna go, like something say just do it, and I'm just here, and I'm liking and enjoying, and I'm really glad I was part of this. I was hearing like all this wisdom, and it was something just clicked when he said wisdom comes from pain. I was like, wow, no wonder why I'm not that wise though. But I'm getting there. It's really amazing when you see the pain from another perspective, right? It's like, wow,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
You're welcome. I've been through a lot in order to generate the wisdom that I've been able to cultivate, but it's not even a cultivation. It just happens when you release the negative emotions. So you don't have to cultivate it. You just have to experience and decide to be in a positive state, in a higher state of being.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
the whole flow is like, you feel like a waterfall gushing over the end of a cliff, right? So that is flow. So you can see that now. Imagine what that feels like, and then that's the energy that's passing through you. If you allow that to happen, there is no obstacle to your power. So if you allow that to happen, there's no obstacle to your power. So visualize the water rushing over the cliff, falling down 300 feet like Niagara Falls, or like from a very jungle-like place. Feel what that feels like, and then you just say, okay, well, now let's apply that feeling to our desires or to our lives in every way all the time. And that's what it feels like to be in an energy flow. It's just constant, and it's beautiful, and it just is embracing of all things. nothing stands in its way. You know, there may be a rock or an obstacle, but guess what? It goes right around it, no problem.
Nice. Interesting. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, practice is what counts, right? So the lesson on gratitude and doing it, it comes with taking the action. The universe rewards those who take action. The universe rewards those who actually move in the direction of what you want. Like you can think about it all you want, dream about it, visualize, imagination, all that, higher mental factors, but you actually have to step out. You have to, put your foot in the water. You have to make that call. You have to try to open that business. You have to, whatever it is you desire, you gotta move in that direction. Doesn't matter if it's the wrong action. You gotta do your best, you gotta do your due diligence. You don't bet your life on it. You have to risk a little bit. So the universe will reward those who take action, and you will correct. It's gonna correct you. It's gonna let you find who you need. I like that part of the lesson. It's gonna bring to you who you need to achieve what you want. Because if the idea is in your mind and you're visualizing it and you really want it, and if it's a good idea, spirit would not have given you the idea. You're not supposed to have it, but it's there. So you're gonna move in that direction. Now the gestation period is the issue. How fast can we get there? That's why we have coaching, mentorship, studying. This is Bob. He's doing for 61 years. He was studying every day. He wants to get aware. So, and that's what we want to give you, that speed of transformation, get you to that next level.
Yeah.
So I asked you all to kind of share information with each other in the chat in case somebody is in business, land, homes, all good. Michelle, anything you want to ask from Alberta, Canada?
No, it was really awesome. I so appreciate being here tonight and meeting everyone. And it's a lot to digest. I'm looking forward to spending some time with my notes.
Yeah, that's good. And that's the idea. So imagine like this is just one session you had. Like this month I do an open house a couple of times. One session where you get to see what we do with clients, what we do with executives and CEOs. And there's different levels. There's the group, there's the private. And we carry you forward. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took some notes and, book time with myself, Harrison, whatever you want to do to help you keep this journey, like speed it up. We're here for you. So. That's basically all I had for the lesson today. For those in the TIR, just keep plugging away, and sky's the limit, right? It's really up to you. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So it's really lovely to have you, Harrison, here with us. Thank you so much.
By the way, I was reading your book. It's really great. I just wanted to tell you. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Awesome.
Add that little commercial.
That's good. Make notes and really apply the information. And it's really cool. I'm just working through the workbook now as well. And hopefully in 2 months, I'll have my own workbook. And then I'll have both. So when we're doing the video, all kind of stuff is happening. Like the world just starts happening now. 2 weeks ago, I think, Uliana and Claudia were with us. The guy who does this brain tap thing, he told me that he's going to put my book on this headset. So, that's going to be 30,000 listeners listening to my stuff. The win, like I mentioned earlier, Raymond Aaron, I'm going to be on his podcast. So you just have to move in the direction of what you want. Life is just going to happen. We don't know how. We don't need to know how. But your mind is going to keep asking, how am I going to get there? Is this really real? Like, refuse the how. Like, you can ask the how when you have to take the action. Remember, right? You study, you relax, and you have to take an action. But what is the action? The action is, what should I do today? Who should I need to call today? Who do I need to see? And the guidance will tell you what to do. So that's when you ask the how, but not the how on the big idea as to, can I really have it?
There is no how. There's actually no how. Because everything exists simultaneously in the now. And so whatever you ask for, you already have. So it isn't a matter of how do you get there, because that separates you from what you're actually looking for. You have to assume that it's already there, and it already is there. So there is no such thing as time. There's no future. There's no past. There's only the now. And if everything is now, then it's already inside of us. It's already there. So there's no how. The thing is just what. The thing is just the what. What do you want to extract from the now? That's all. And if you understand that, it becomes very easy and very clear to manifest. Yeah.
It's so beautiful, and I don't want to leave without Harrison commenting on the line that he put in the chat. God's will and yours are one and the same, because so many would be like, "Oh, are you serious?" God's will and yours are one and the same.
There is no such thing as external assertion. God does not imply or apply his will upon you. You take a desire and God works to manifest it for you, with you. So God experiences himself through us. He doesn't tell us what, he simply experiences himself through us. God's will and your will are the same. So when you want to do something negative, he will allow you to do something negative. The principle is what you put energy into, you get more of. What you take energy out of, you get less of. So when you want something, if you put your energy and your attention, because energy and attention are the same thing, if you put your attention on something repeatedly, you experience that thing. And that is God, because God is manifesting that for you at any given point. God is the highest principles inside of us that expresses itself through this consciousness. So, and then the bottom line is that, when you have a desire, God also has that desire. He either gave it to you or you have generated it, but it's one and the same. So spirit and you are the same thing. You are spirit, spirit is you. So when you understand that, basically God's will and your will are the same. He doesn't try to do anything that you don't, you have free will. So anything that you want to manifest is yours. So, it's all that kind of stuff. So God's will and your will are exactly the same thing. So don't worry about you going against God's will, because it's all God's will. No matter what it is, it's all God's will.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Put hands together. I mean, I'm gonna just thank you so much. This was awesome. This is I'm more than jazzed. This is gonna keep me on that high frequency and vibration the rest of the week, right? You gotta get on that frequency. So this is like, whoa.
So I leave you with the immortal words of James Taylor, who said, "Shower the people you love with love. Tell them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out right if you only will." All right, I'll leave you with those words.
Nice.
All right.
Well,
I'm gonna go. Have a good night, everybody. You guys
Thank you.
hang
Thank
out
you,
with
Harrison.
Kamal, because Kamal's the best, baby. So he and I are like, you see that? You see that? That's that's Kamal.
have a good night, Harrison. Say hi to my
Thanks.
best. Love you.
You too. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
So I'm gonna pause the recording. This was amazing. Really, really good.